Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with a review of the 1:144th scale high-grade Sengoku Astray, Niels Nielsen's custom mobile suit from Gundam Build Fighters. Starting with a quick parts breakdown, this model kit comes with a total of 8 runners, 1 large set of polycaps, and 1 moderately sized foil sticker sheet. I'll say it right now, the shade of the red plastic is completely off from the anime version. It should be much darker and carry a slight violet hue. Otherwise, no other major issues exist. As for the build, it's a bit more complex and involved than you'd think for a simple HG, but it's also surprisingly short. It ends up being a nice balance for a Gundam of this grade. Fully assembled, and the HG Sengoku Astray makes for a decent representation of its on-screen model. There's 2 aspects to this kit that account for the majority of its striking appearance: molding and color separation. Just seeing the amount of surface detail and armor layering, especially in the legs, is hugely impressive. This HG is definitely punching above its weight. Stickers aren't too bad either, as their contribution is limited to the green lenses and gold mouthpiece. However, while the base sculpting is solid, a great deal of extra effort is essential for bringing out the Sengoku Astray's full potential. All that nice detail generally gets lost in the solid plastic colors, emphasizing the application of panel lining even more. Additional gold and black paint apps are needed too. Of course, this is on top of repainting all the red plates to the correct animation color. Though, the biggest hurdle to overcome is simply the process of adding in these extra details. The intricate Gundam design combined with the kit's small 5.5-inch size make for one tedious and frustrating experience. Seriously, if you're hoping to get this kit anime accurate, brush up on your painting skills. This Gundam has a ball-jointed head, which has some pretty good range. Unfortunately, even though it's a ball joint at the top and in the neck, the bottom side is locked, so you can really only use the top section. As for the torso, there's a ball joint here at the base and in the mid-torso, so you can get side to side, a bit of back and forth, and some sort of tilting angle to it. The arms are definitely interesting. There's a peg at the top of the shoulder that allows it to go back and forth, then there's one that goes up and down, and a little bit of side-to-side action. Together, they can create some pretty good shoulder movement. The arms, though, are kind of just locked in because of this huge black piece, so even though there's a separate joint there, it can't really do much with it. There is a bicep swivel and a double-jointed elbow, which has a weird placement for the joint. It's halfway through the forearm, but that should still get you most movement, and of course a ball-jointed wrist. The most interesting section, though, is this shoulder pad here. It actually comes out, and each section is on a swiveling hinge to allow for a bigger arm or separate arm with a little bit of a handle section there, and this allows you to get the entire arm outwards. So once this is activated, you can get the full extension of range from the arm, but when it's down, you can't. Moving lower, the hips are on universal joints, so they go forward and outward with no interference from the actual hip armor, even though these are on small little ball joints. As for the knee, it's a single joint, and it has this weird sort of revealing part here that I don't like at all, and the knee pad can even extend further to make that look much more awkward. The range is good. My only issue is that this armor thing does kind of get in the way when you're kind of posing, and because the knee is placed so high, the usefulness of the joint is a bit negated. Also, because of how thick these things are, you can't quite get his legs to come in closer than that. It's not really a big issue here, but when you're trying to do like those subtle one foot in front of the other poses, they can become more of a hassle. Finally, the ankles, and these are just on simple double-ended ball joints. However, they're really great because of how flat the feet are, so they never really conflict with the top of the bottom of the leg armor here, so they can get some pretty decent range in every direction you'd like. The Sengoku Astray's articulation is largely limited due to his design. And that's it, plain and simple. It's not the most acrobatic kit out there, although it's one that can display a great range of subtle and emotive stances. Accessories are rather low with the Sengoku Astray. There's a trio of hands included: the default fists, open palms, and angled gripping hands. The first 2 are for display purposes, while the last pair is meant for wielding his weapons, the katanas. The swords themselves come molded entirely in white, and the majority of the stickers included with this kit are applied on these weapons. That said, the result is still disappointing. The blade and handle only get covered on the thicker sides, leaving the smaller edges exposed. Then there's the gold foil piece, which only covers the base of the hilt, meaning you'll have to paint in the guard yourself. Honestly, it's best to abandon these stickers altogether. As for the ability to wield the swords, it's passable. The Gundam's hands have a very loose grip, yet using the larger arms is very secure. When it comes to storage, each blade pegs into the open slots on the tops of the shoulders. Lastly, the backplate of the Astray detaches to form its demon shield. There's a small handle on the backside for the Gundam to hold. It's fine for what it is, though again, this comes molded entirely in red, so extra paint details are left to your discretion. I love the design of the Sengoku Astray Gundam. It's such a creative idea that feels so well realized. In fact, my attraction for this mobile suit alone was the reason I even bothered to watch Gundam Build Fighters. However, when it finally appeared in the anime, it was, truthfully, a bit of a letdown. Ironically, those feelings are mimicked here with this high-grade rendition. The best thing I can say about this kit is that it contains a unique build process with very dense, sturdy plastics. Nevertheless, the final product remains as untapped potential. Now sure, there's an argument that the entire Gunpla hobby is based around personalization and the fulfillment of completely detailing a kit. Thing is, the Sengoku Astray requires more work than what's normally expected of an HG model kit. Moreover, even if you get it to look good, the subpar playability will then be the main focus. Mediocre articulation and few features equate to very limited display options. Ultimately, for as much as I love the look of the Sengoku Astray Gundam, it's not enough for me to see past the faults of this high grade. It isn't a model kit I'd recommend to beginners, rather it's for experts in the scene. Although, if you're ready and willing to put in the effort, it might as well be on something worthy to begin with, and that's exactly what the master grade version is for. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and you may have noticed my very poor painting skills. Yup, if this kit has taught me anything, it's that I have a long way to go before I can be considered a Gunpla master.